Hey fellow tankers, Mobius Y here with another video for World of Tanks console. So, welcome to 2018. Washing my hands clean of 2017 and all the extra sodium left over from the salt generated throughout 2017. So in the background, I've just got some gameplay in the Wheezy 111-14 Tier 9 Chinese medium tank. Still on this bloody thing. I did not play over the holidays, as I basically expected to. And recent events took up actually quite a bit of my time that I had scheduled and set aside for tanking to try and get much further along in this grind than I am right now. Nevertheless, still am here with this tank, but I still really like this tank. This is a very good, fun tank to play, and I wager pretty shortly I will definitely have the 113 researched and purchased, so I would say 2 weeks from now, at most 3, I will finally get a review up for this Tier 9 beast of a heavy tank. Great tank to play. Looking forward to finally cutting out to a review for it. So instead, I'm going to be talking about the state of World of Tanks console. Well, not the state of World of Tanks console, because if you pay attention to my posts on the forums or you follow me on Twitter, you know how I feel about the state of World of Tanks console, and I've had a pretty negative opinion of the state of the game for about a year and a half now. So I don't need to get into that. That could be another hour-long video, and let's be honest, who cares? Instead, I am curious what you guys would like to see 2018 bring to World of Tanks console. I genuinely want to know. 2017, I think, was a pretty good year for content that was brought into the game. The two big things, in my opinion, which were major, not necessarily breakthroughs, but major improvements, was the introduction of the replay system and the PvE War Stories mode that was added, on top of the Proving Grounds that we already have. So the War Stories, the Proving Grounds, all that jazz gives the opportunity for players who just want to chill out and beat up on AI opponents, or using it to practice learning things like the control schemes or something like that, as well as pretty laid-back ways to possibly earn some extra XP and silver. I think it's a cool addition to the game. The replay function is absolutely fantastic. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's great for people, namely YouTubers, who take submitted replays, because now players, if they had a good game but they didn't record it via their console's recording system or with a capture card or something, they can still go back and view the replay itself and still go back and get it, just not necessarily from a first person's perspective, as far as I can tell. So cool additions there. Content wise, we also got a couple tank lines added: the Czechs, the Swedes, as well as tech tree restructures with the addition of tanks in various tech trees, like the French tech tree, as well as all the tech trees being restructured with the changes to light tanks and Tier 9 and Tier 10 light tanks being added. So content-wise, I felt 2017 was actually pretty good. So 2018, expanding on that, I think it would be super cool to have more kind of quality of life things added into the game. And number one on that list for quality of life things is incentive for players to play pretty much on a daily basis. There's already some incentive to jump in and play the game in the form of operations, which do reset daily, as well as ×2 doubles. But I honestly feel that there could be quite a bit more done for World of Tanks console. I'm going to take a page out of several other free-to-play games book and suggest things like rewards for players who either simply log in and load into their garage, or load into the game and play, say, 1 battle, or even just 3 battles, or 5 battles, whatever. You get some kind of a bonus reward for basically hopping in and just playing the game, or possibly even just logging in. Lots of other free-to-play games that are available on both Xbox and PS4 have daily logins. Best examples that come to mind are ones that I still kind of mess around with. Crossout, for one, which is another kind of vehicle combat game. Smite, for another, which is MOBA, and Skyforge, which is an MMO. Those all give you kind of rewards just for jumping into the game every day. And on Crossout and Smite in particular, the rewards get progressively better. You get more resources for either purchasing additional, in Smite's case, purchasing additional gods to unlock more gods that you can play with, or in Crossout's case, more, more, what's the word I'm looking for? More funds in order to purchase parts to customize your vehicles, or even loot crates where you can get a random part to try on your vehicles, etc., etc. And Skyforge gives you something called followers and credits, basically, every day. And the amount is roughly the same. So I think that would be a really cool addition in World of Tanks. Not necessarily daily logins, but as I said, something to incentivize players to jump in and play a few battles every day beyond just trying to get a times 2 win. Because a times 2 win for a lot of players, sometimes you get a horribly bad losing streak and it takes you, 15 games just to get a single win and get your daily double. I've been there. I'm sure plenty of you guys have been there. It can be a major pain in the ass. So something where you get a bit of a bonus, nothing major, something small, like even just, 30,000 or 50,000 silver, just for hopping in and say playing 3 games. Doesn't matter if you win or lose them. You just played them. And then you get a nice little amount of silver. Something like that would be huge and really cool to the players that don't spend a dime on this game. Because, let's face it, silver is a really, really, really tough commodity for people who do not constantly purchase premium time and don't have many premium tanks because they don't have the time to earn them through the constant earn-op free giveaways, or they, as previously mentioned, they don't have the funds to purchase premium tanks. So something small like that would be cool, and you could even give out things like consumables in this manner as well. Play a few games and you get some small repair and small first aid kits. That would be super cool as well. Just stuff to help players out, like a little, just a tiny free little gimme. And I've actually been kind of suggesting that for quite some time, because there are so many free to play games on the consoles that already do that. One that I used to play called Air Mech Arena even had that kind of thing, where you didn't even have to play a game; it was just a login bonus. So I think something like that would be really cool and be extremely helpful to the players that don't spend any money on this game, and it'll help keep them interested in continuing to play as well. They'll want to get home from work or get home from school and go, oh, I want to get my daily reward today. I just got to jump in and play a battle, play 3 battles, play 5 battles, whatever, and people will do that. I think another super cool thing would be, I'm trying to think of how to word this. I guess the short way to explain it would be something along the lines of tank rentals. Maybe not necessarily allowing players to take tanks that they don't have into an actual multiplayer battle, but allowing players to take tanks that they don't have researched or unlocked, or premium tanks that they have it purchased, and taking the first spin in, say, Proving Grounds, so that they can get a feel for their mobility, their gun handling, and possibly kind of get a feel for how the gun performs, and how the armor holds up, so on and so forth. I think that would be something super cool. Going back to Smite, I've been playing Smite for over a year now, and you don't have to purchase gods in order to play them. They actually have a thing called god rentals, and it's not just you can rent gods at any time, but they also give free week-long god rentals to new players in the game. Whenever you play a game, you earn XP towards your player account's level. And new players up to a level of 30 get certain gods where they are given a voucher for a week-long god rental for certain gods as their player count levels up, which is super cool. Or you could use in-game funds to rent a god for a day, 3 days, a week, at any time should you so choose. I think something like that would be extremely cool for World of Tanks console. Pay a small fee just like a small silver fee, and try out a tank in Proving Grounds for either a few Proving Grounds matches or possibly even in War Stories missions, and either give them some kind of a time limit or a battle limit to the maximum number of battles that you can use them for. If that was available where you could take them into multiplayer matches, definitely there should be a hard cap on them. You pay this amount of silver, you can only play it for one game. You play a higher amount of silver, you can play it for maybe 10 games, or have a time limit on it where you pay a small amount of silver, you can play this tank for a few hours, say 12 hours, but you can play it as many times as you want, or play a really large amount of silver and you can play this tank as many times as you want over the course of 3 days. I think something like that would be super cool, and it would also help players get an idea of the kind of tanks that they actually want to attain. People could try out the tier 10 tanks before actually even getting them, for example, because I mean, how many times do we see it where somebody gets a tier 10 tank and they clearly don't know how to play it because they're not sure about its strengths or weaknesses and whatnot. They're trying to play a paper thin tank like the FV 4005 as a frontline brawler when it has 0 armor, basically. Something silly like that. So I don't know, just kind of two ideas that come to mind that other free to play games offer their players to be able to try out. So there's definitely more that could be done, and I could go on and on and on about this, but it's really nothing I haven't already said on the forums, so I'm sure some of you have seen that before, and I don't want this video to be retardedly long. So I'm going to stop there. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see brought to the table for World of Tanks console in 2018. Would you like to see more balance changes done? Would you like to see a revamping of the maps or more of our older maps brought back? Would you like to see just more tanks and more tank lines brought in? Would you like to see more new maps brought in? Do you want to see more variant maps brought in? Would you like to see an endgame kind of competitive mode brought to the table? Just let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you think. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of this very mediocre gameplay going on in the background. I'm going to let this game play out. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Mobius Y. I want to hear what you think, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Happy tanking.
Fool. Fool? Who you messing with? Fool? What else is coming in here? T-32, Panther, stay low. Set heavy, M103, it should be the T-32 actually. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, I didn't do nothing there.